because we're not American blacks. They call us American blacks, but according to the Bible, we're not American blacks. We're Israelites from the tribe of Judah.
Right.
And I'm going to show it to you.
Right.
Give me Galatians 4 and 26 first. I'm going to show you where we come from.
The book of Galatians, chapter 4 and verse 26. But Jerusalem.
But where?
But Jerusalem.
Do you know where Jerusalem is? Jerusalem is the capital of the land of Israel. Israel was a man whose name once was Jacob. It was changed to Israel. Give me just 32 and 27. His name was changed. It was a reason his name was changed. I'm going to show you who Israel is. Because every land that you look at, just like when you look at these street signs, it's named after people. So when you look at a land, that was a man's land who had his family, established his family in his land. So we're gonna read whose land that is. Read.
The book of Genesis, chapter 32 and verse 27. And he said unto him, What is thy name?
So Jacob was wrestling with this angel. He said, what is your name? Because he overthrew the angel. He said, what is your name? Pay attention, bro. Watch this.
And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob.
So the angel said, your name is no longer Jacob. Read.
But Israel.
But Israel, the land of Israel. You heard of the land of Israel, right? Okay, so he said your name going to be changed to the land of Israel. Let's see what Israel means. Read.
For as a prince hast thou power with God.
Give me 2 Timothy 1 and 7. It said, for a prince have you power with God. So when you take on the name Israel, you put away that name American, black, Mexican, Indian. You take on your power, your true power, because God is dealing with the nation of Israel, which is our land. So this is what God said to the land of Israel, to the people of Israel. Read.
The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 1 and verse 7. For God have not given us the spirit of fear.
It said God didn't give a black man, a Hispanic man, and a native Indian man the spirit of fear. But what did he give us?
But of power.
Of what?
Of power.
So what does Israel mean? Remember, we read what Israel meant. It's the reason he gave him the name Israel.
That's right.
It means a prince of power with God. So give me Deuteronomy 28. Give me Deuteronomy 1 and 1. So what we do is we're teaching our people our true history. As far as, how old are you? 18. You 18, so you fresh out of school. So what did they teach you about history in school?
You know.
They don't give you much, so they don't tell you where you come from. Right. All they tell you was slavery, right?
That's
but
right.
It was something that happened to us before slavery. We existed before slavery. Ever heard that we were once kings and queens? You never heard that? I'm gonna show it to you. Give me Deuteronomy 1 and 1.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
So when you read in the Bible, do you believe in the Bible? You believe in the Bible. Okay, it says, these be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. So when you read the book of Deuteronomy, this is what he's going to speak to them. When you read throughout the Bible, it only speaks to the nation of Israel. Right. Now give me verse 7, chapter 7 and 6. Verse 6.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6.
This is what Moses told the children of Israel. Read.
For thou art an holy people.
It said you are a holy people, meaning a separate people. I severed you. He said you're a holy people. Read.
Unto the Lord thy God.
That means God picked you out of all the people that he created, out of all 18 nations that he created. He picked the Israelites to be special, a special group of people. Read.
The Lord thy God have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
So he said, I chose you to be a special people unto myself. Now, you like shoes? You got a collection of shoes, don't you? Somewhat, but you got a favorite pair of shoes, don't you? That's how God chose us as a nation of people. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. He said, hey, I like them shoes, but I love them shoes. They're my favorite shoes. That's how he chose his people. Read.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So it says above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Give me Matthew 5 and 13. So when it says above all the people that are upon the face of the earth, meaning, when you look at sports, you watch sports? You don't watch sports, you listen to music, don't you? Who dominates the music industry right now? Who the most talented people in music? Is it Arabian people, white people? It's black people, right? Because he said we will be the greatest people upon the face of the earth above all nations. Above all these races, above all these different cultures, we will have the best thing going on. Watch this. This is why, I'm going to show you Matthew 5 and 13. This is why it says this. Read.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 13. Bring it up. Ye are the salt of the earth.
It says you are the salt of the earth. Now, if you make some rice and you don't put no salt in it, ain't no good, is it? If you don't eat rice? So you eat rice without salt?
Nah, I put butter and sugar in.
You put butter, but if you put it with, well, you put seasoning in there, right? Yeah. It says you are the salt of the earth, meaning you are the season of the earth. Watch this. Read.
But if the salt have lost his savor.
So if it ain't got no flavor in it, it ain't no good, right? So think about this. As a black man, when you start, I'm gonna just say this. When we started sagging our pants, what the other nations started doing? They started sagging their pants. We started wearing our hat backwards. What did they start doing?
Yeah.
We started putting goals in our mouth. What did they start doing? They started imitating us. It says we the salt of the earth. We give the earth its flavor. Everything we do, they gonna imitate us because we the trendsetters of all that exists. Our culture is the greatest culture on the face of the earth. But when we look at society today, we live on the east side. You ever been to Edmond? You ever been in Nichols Hill?
I ain't from
You ain't from here? Where you from?
Texas County.
You from where?
Texarkana.
Where is it?
It's right above Arkansas.
Right above Arkansas. What state is that?
Texas.
It's in Texas, right? So when you go, you ever been to Houston? Well, I'm not familiar with your city, but look, whenever you go to any city, you have the suburbs, you have the hood, right? The ghetto, right? Who mainly lives in the suburbs?
Yeah.
White folks, right? Who live in the hood? Why is that? If we the greatest people on the earth, why do we live in the hood? Why do we live in the hood of every city?
Bring it out.
Over here on the east side, how long you been here?
2 days.
2 days. But you can look around and tell you ain't on the suburbs, right? You can look at these shops and tell this ain't the suburbs. You can look at this store. Look at this store. Look what's going on at the store. Ain't no much a good trapping and pimping going on over here. That's the hood. That ain't happening in Edmond. That ain't happening in these white folks. They ain't playing that.
Right.
You're not doing that downtown where all the skyscrapers at.
Bring it out.
Right or wrong? You're not doing that. So why is it that as the greatest nation of people on the face of the earth, why do we live at a lower state right now? You ever ask anybody that question? Did you ever ask why do we go into slavery?
Yeah.
Have you ever been to church? The Bible says God loves everybody, right? So why do we go into slavery and nobody else?
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you why. Give me Amos 3 and 3. I'm gonna show you why we went into slavery and nobody else. Because it's a reason that all this, everything that happened to us, it's not just by chance. It's a purpose behind everything that happened. You ever heard that before? Everything happens for a reason. I'm gonna show you the reason on why this happened. Start at verse 1.
The book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel.
Oh, who?
O children of Israel.
Who is it talking to? Who is it? What does the Bible say? Children of who? Of Israel. Read.
Against the whole family,
It says against the whole family, all 12 tribes you see on this sign over here. Read.
which I brought up from the land of Egypt.
Are you familiar with the story of Moses? Okay, well Moses, I'm gonna give you a summary of Moses. Moses was an Israelite who took the Israelites. He once sat in the seat of the Egyptians, the throne in Egypt.
Yeah.
Then he left the throne and realized that his people were in bondage. He knew who he was. He left the throne to save his people out of Egypt. He eventually saved them out of Egypt, took them through the Red Sea, parted the Red Sea, took them on the other side of the wilderness. Like I was reading in the book of Deuteronomy, that's what he was speaking of. That's where he took them. So he went to save his people. Now watch this. Read.
Saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth.
So this is what Moses was telling them in Deuteronomy. You know, God chose y'all. They don't know no other families of the earth. He don't know no other nation. He don't know the Arabians. He don't know the Caucasians. He don't know the Hawaiians. He don't know all them. He know the so-called not the so-called Israelites, but the so-called American blacks, Hispanics, and natives. The Israelites, according to the Bible. These are the people that you know that he's dealing with. Read. And this is why we get punished. Watch this. Listen to this.
Therefore, I will punish you
It said, I will punish you. This is why we get punished.
for all of your iniquities.
That's it. He said, I'm going to punish you because you're the only ones that I've been dealing with. Remember in Deuteronomy 7 and 6, he said, I made you holy unto me. I made you for myself. I don't want nobody else. I want y'all.
Yo.
Now watch this. I'm going to show you why. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 15.
Bring it out.
So when you read the book of Deuteronomy, it's Moses speaking to the children of Israel. He's telling them, he's saying, God said y'all the greatest people on the face of the earth above all nations. God said that y'all could be kings and queens. Y'all could rule this earth. The earth was made for y'all. But he said, if you don't listen, it's something that's going to happen to you. You're going to be punished for your iniquities. Watch this.
Bring it out.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15.
Bring it out.
But it shall come to pass.
It said, but it shall come to pass, meaning what? What does it mean? If I say it shall happen, what does that mean? That mean not it should, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Read.
Right.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Do you know what hearken means? Hearken means to listen, to hear. The root word of hearken is hear. That means to listen. Read.
To observe, to do all his commandments
So the commandments that he gave us, he said, if you don't listen and do these commandments,
and his statutes,
and the sub laws, the small laws up under these commandments,
which I command thee this day, that all these curses,
all these what?
all these curses,
Is that good or bad? Curse is a bad thing, right?
Right.
This is a punishment.
Bring
A
it out.
punishment is a curse.
That's
That's a
right.
bad thing. Read.
shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
It says all these curses gonna come upon you and overtake you.
That's right.
He said if you don't want to listen to what I'm telling y'all to do, all these curses gonna come upon you and overtake you.
That's
Watch
right.
this. I'm gonna go through a few curses to show you how we identify who we are according to the Bible. That today the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives are the children of the book. Give me verse 16. Tell your ride to come over here. Tell your ride to come over here. Tell me.
She has business in.
Hey, well, look. If you look on the back, look on the back of that. Look on the back of that. We have a school right down the street. I know you new here, so turn it over. We got a school right down the street, right down here. You seen us every Saturday? Pull up at 3. Thursday night at 7. Come pull up and holler at us, man. Learn about your history.
That's right.
We need young men like you to help teach other, be an example for the other young men.
That's right.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.